Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your host, Dee Doss. I am here with none other than my own flesh and blood, my prodigy, my own daughter, who, unbeknownst to a lot of people, was with me during a lot of my misadventures down in Brown Springs. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Scrappy-Doo.
Hi, y'all.
What's new, Scrappy-Doo?
Oh, you know.
No, I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
I don't know.
I don't know.
School, work.
School and work.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
That's about it.
Well, ladies and gents, not only is she going to be on this show, but she is the newest member of the Dark Waters family. You will be seeing her channel, which is going to be Creepypastas, out very, very soon. So I would like everybody to throw their support around her. And you know how we do it in the DW family. We got some trolls, some hot pockets coming from here and there every now and again. And yeah, just to create a little insulation around my kid. So I won't have to smash anybody. But anyways, folks, a lot of the encounters that I've had, like I said, unbeknownst to a lot of y'all, she witnessed. So we're just going to go through a couple of them. Like the one, do you remember any of them? Which ones do you remember?
I remember sometimes. I remember when we went out. I remember we'd went out and we'd brought Sarah's kid, Canyon, I think.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah, the
all
teenager.
The boys.
That was at night, right?
I think it was right before it got dark.
And we left when it was dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was starting to get scared or something.
Yeah, he was getting scared. Can't blame him. Not everybody's made of the stuff that Dosses are made out of.
There's time you took me and the boys out. I remember going really far back there one day.
Yeah, we made a good hike one day.
Like miles back there.
Do you remember when we were leaving? Like there was rocks thrown at us. It was the only time that rocks were thrown. And I was like, nah, let's chill on it. And then we got back in the vehicle and I started whistling to them.
And they would whistle back.
Yeah, they were whistling the same tune that I was whistling back.
And you change it up. And
I changed it up. And they got pissed.
Oh, start throwing more.
All right, folks. There's one time we went out. Like you've heard me say before. If I go out and they act like they don't want me to be there or whatever, or it feels kind of weird, like I'm not gonna hang out. I'm gonna leave. So me and the kid go out one day, and my ex's sons, and there was the only time rocks were thrown, but they weren't thrown at us. Like they were thrown when we were leaving.
Yeah.
Like they were trying to get our attention to come back or something.
Like they were mad we were leaving or something.
Yeah, they were mad. That's what it felt like. They're mad we were leaving. And I still went to the vehicle because it was sus. It was kind of sketchy.
You got the kids, you know.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I'm not gonna put any kids in even potential danger. So I go and I sit in the car, or we all go sit in the vehicle, and I start whistling the tune that I whistle to them, and they start whistling it back. And I do it like 3 or 4 times, and then I change it up, and then there's nothing. I do that about 2 or 3 times, and then one of them goes, yeah. It was awesome. Like I mean, you could tell it was little. It sounded like little kids, and it sounded like one of the little ones, like trying to sound tough.
I remember.
Yeah.
It was a Halloween night. You were about to take us to go trick or treating, and you're like, "You want to go out to the woods with me real quick?" And I was
We went
like,
out on
"Sure, why not?"
Halloween?
Yeah.
I don't even remember that. What happened?
I know that we didn't go far because it was starting to get dark.
Yeah.
We went kind of late, but we're on the way back, and I'm taking a different route than what we would usually go. I'm kind of wandering off. and
Yeah,
I remember,
you went down that one trail. Like, why? That was weird.
Yeah, I got myself in a bunch of trouble, but I stepped in something, and it was like a big old pile of crap. Turd. It looked like a human turd, but it was just huge.
I remember that.
And I'm like,
And
Dad,
it stunk to all be damned.
I was like, Dad, I just stepped in crap.
Yeah, and then see, there was there's people that asked me to like bag that stuff up for DNA purposes. And they're like, well, why don't you ever go and you can find hair and stool samples. I said it before, I'll say it again adamantly. I'm not picking up dookie from these things. I don't care if it'll prove anything. Like, they remain unproven if all it takes is a pile of. That was the third time. I think the third time that I've ran into dookie, and she stepped right in the middle of it somehow. That was huge too. How did you step?
I don't know.
It was all on the sides
like,
of your shoes and stuff. That's crazy.
I remember going back and looking at film. That was a lot of fun. Frame by frame.
Frame by frame. That's the way to do it.
So tedious though.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if you're going to be thorough and adamant. See,
you
folks,
see a lot of little stuff in there.
You actually see them. You see them moving like frame by frame. And like I've told you before, you just heard it from my kid's mouth. I would go frame by frame, 60 frames per second. If anybody's doing this, if they want to do it the right way, you go out there, you shoot film, 60 frames per second. I don't care if it's 2 hours long. If you really want to see them move, it is what it is. Because, I mean, they have such mastery over their own, like, I think they have a better perception of their own movements and their sense of self. Like how we say you're going to go pick up a remote. Thought passes your mind. Their thought to muscle action is a whole lot shorter than ours. They're like, I mean, they're animals. They're beasts. They don't have any trepidation or any kind of like hesitations in their movements. It's weird.
I would love to get like, if somehow, some way we do get one, or find one dead somehow, to pick apart its brain and see how it works.
Yeah, you would want to do some stuff like that. Pick apart.
I mean, like,
how would you know how it would work if you pick apart its brain? Like, you would have to know what you're looking at.
So you would have to do intensive study over not only the human brain, but ape brain. Well, it's its own species. And
you think so? What do you think they are? You think? I mean, they're a hominid, so they're a type of us.
What I've heard ever since I was younger, we have the Nephilim.
Yeah.
Remains of their kind, maybe.
The remains of the angels and the offspring of angels and the humans.
Yes, and their offspring with others, and maybe that's what we got. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think they're too animal-like to be like, because the angels are humanoid.
Oh yeah,
but they're not necessarily a hominid. They're not necessarily a type of us. They're something completely different, even though they look like us.
What's the definition of hominid? Like,
that's a good question. The actual definition of hominid. Let's see. Yeah, facts. That's right, Godson. Let me tell you something. What do you think, TT? Does their dookies that like smell terrible? I think it's disgusting.
I don't remember. Like,
I remember all too well.
Man,
I know it stunk to all be damned. I remember that much.
It was still warm. Ugh.
It was still warm.
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes.
That's crazy. So like it was probably one of those ones that was following us around.
Like the littles?
Yeah, it had to be.
Yeah.
Y'all saw the little ones when I didn't though.
Well, yeah.
The definition of hominid is any. All right, you can read it.
Hominid: any of various primates of the family Hominidae, which includes orangutans, gorillas, chimpanzees, and modern humans and their extinct relatives. The family formerly included the only Homo sapiens, extinct species of Homo, and the extinct genus of Australopithecus.
That was a hard one. Australopithecus. I can't even say it. Australopithecus.
There you go.
What's Australopithecus?
Let's figure it out.
Yeah, let's see. Australopithecus definition. Australopithecus. Why can't it prompt me? An Australopithecus. Australopithecus is a genus of early hominins that existed in Africa during the late Pliocene? Pliocene age.
Mm-hmm. And Pleistocene.
And early Pleistocene. Do you know what any of that shit is?
No.
I
know
either.
it's Eras. I think that might be what Lucy is.
I think that Lucy? I think they're freestyling, honestly. I think they don't know what any of this stuff is, and they're just kind of freestyling things together. They find some bones and they don't look like ours, and they say, oh, well. All right, let me ask you this. What do you think, since we're made in God's image, what do you think all those other hominins are, like Cro-Magnon and Neanderthal and all that? Get closer to the microphone.
Well, hold on.
We got to be professional here.
It's been a while. It's been a minute. Okay. See, I wouldn't know. I haven't put much thought into it.
I haven't either. It's a good question, though, because I don't think they're made in God's image. Like the bones of Neanderthal, they look more like these cryptids, these Bigfoot.
Neanderthals is what scientists think came right before us, right?
Right.
As far as the
we just dry ass showed up.
Like, that's not possible. Like, we are nothing like anything else on the earth. Like, and they think that we just evolved from somewhere.
They think we evolved from a single-celled organism that evolved from the single-celled organism evolved into some sort of an amphibious type life form that crawled upon the land. And that evolved into a primitive type monkey type creature. And that monkey type creature evolved into a hominin, which evolved into us.
So the way that they explain evolution.
She's the science one. I'm like history and all that stuff. Like, I could care less about science. I couldn't care less about science.
The way that they explain evolution in like your textbooks or whatnot is one species adapting into another based on its surroundings, its environment, and the other animals around it. So if we evolved from something, why are those still here?
Exactly. That's from a 16-year-old, folks. Like, do you still learn evolution in school?
I did a little bit last year. I know that we went over it a little.
Have they said anything before that, like about evolution?
Well, I mean, yeah, ever since like middle school.
What if I was touch on it though?
Yeah, if I was in zoology, I'm sure we would go over more of it. But I'm in anatomy, so.
Next time they bring it up, ask them to explain the platypus.
What is the platypus? It's like
a platypus is a mammal with the bill of a duck,
a beaver tail.
It lays eggs.
And
it's a mammal. It has a poisonous talon.
It's a mammal, but it lays eggs.
It's a neurotoxin. It's like rattlesnake venom. And it's a mammal.
Right.
And it has the tail of a beaver. So what did that evolve from?
Maybe a beaver and a duck got busy, and then bam, we have the platypus.
That can't happen.
Exactly. I don't know. Maybe it was like engineered.
Maybe. But if it was engineered, then they would have to engineer like a bunch of them to make sure that they bred a population.
And then send them out there. Can you look that up real quick? Where are platypus native to?
They are, I think I know this one. They're native to not the Galapagos. I may be wrong. I should look it up. You got to talk to the people and look it up because that's dead air.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm looking at the.
Yeah, talk to the folks.
Oh, sorry. I'm new at this. We were once what? I can't see that. It says, Dad, help me.
What are you trying to do? Are you trying to like bring up like somebody's comment?
But it looks like
you got to click on it.
I did.
Which one? This one?
Yeah. Says according to the Emerald Tablets. What are the Emerald Tablets?
The Emerald
I've heard a
Tablets
little
of
bit of that.
Thoth. Thoth was the Egyptian god of wisdom. And there was some Emerald Tablets that were supposedly written by him, which have a lot of biblical like cross sections. It's kind of weird, honestly. But according to the Emerald Tablets, the oldest recorded documents on Earth, we were once.
We were once what?
Once what, dude? Like
It disappears.
Why'd you pick that one? He just Grande Gringo. He's a pretty cool dude. But yeah, like we're highlighting you, brother. See, Dominique Espinosa. What's up, bro? So, the platypus.
Mm-hmm.
The platypus, sometimes referred to as the duck-billed platypus, is a semi-aquatic egg-laying mammal endemic to eastern Australia, including Tasmania. See, that's where I just thought it was in Tasmania. The platypus is the sole living representative of a monotypic taxon of its family and genus. Sorry, she had the helm there for a second. So I guess y'all didn't hear any of that. The platypus, sometimes referred to as the duck-billed platypus, is a semi-aquatic egg-laying mammal endemic to eastern Australia, including Tasmania. The platypus is the sole living representative of monotypic taxon of its family and genus, though a number of related species appear in the fossil record. Together with the 4 species of echidna, it is one of the 5 extant species of monotremes, mammals that lay eggs instead of giving birth to live young. Like other monotremes, it senses prey through electrolocation. What's electrolocation? We're going to end up doing a whole show looking up these words.
If I had to take a guess, electrolocation.
They use the magnetic field.
I wonder how they see. Like, you know how they have like a simulation of how snakes see and how dogs see. I wonder how they see. Like if they see,
I have no idea.
If they register heat, you know,
maybe
or if they see colors and.
Well, in the echidna, like akin to the mole.
I don't know what the echidna is.
It almost looks like a hedgehog. It is one of the few species of venomous mammals, as the male platypus has a spur on its hind foot that delivers a venom capable of causing severe pain to humans. The unusual appearance of this egg-laying, duck-billed, beaver-tailed, otter-footed mammal baffled European naturalists when they first encountered it. And the first scientists to examine a preserved platypus body judged it a fake made of several animals sewn together.
Like Frankenstein.
Well, I mean, Frankenstein, not even like Frankenstein, because Frankenstein's monster was like, and it's Frankenstein's monster.
It is Frankenstein. I was just about to say that.
I got to check you on that one. It's not Frankenstein. It's Frankenstein's monster. Hello, Marlene. So, I don't know. Like the platypus is prime example, is the main example I use to disprove evolution, because it's madness. What did that evolve from? Like, was it a duck that evolved into a mammal and somehow has snake venom? Or was it a snake that evolved into a mammal? Or a mammal that, I mean, it's ridiculous. I think God put that there personally.
Right.
Because he sees past, present, and future all at the same time. And he was like, oh, you smart humans?
Don't put that there.
Yeah, I'm here, let's let them figure this out.
It's so amazing how we try to untangle all these wonders, like how the world works, but you can't.
Instead of just enjoy them.
Right. Because everything has a purpose and everything ties together. And if you take one thing out, like a keystone species, you throw everything off.
Yeah, it'll affect the entire like region from top to bottom. How do you know that? Who told you that? I didn't, because I don't worry about it.
Well, we did a study on keystone species. Did you know starfish is a keystone species?
Of what?
Of the aquatic nature. So if you take starfish out of piece of wherever. Starfish eat mussels.
Right.
Mussels also keep, what is it?
Mussels are like a predation animal
Mhm.
for like other top tier
Yes.
species.
Mussels will overpopulate if you take starfish away, and if mussels overpopulate, they'll take over. And then that probably wasn't the best example.
No, I mean I'm
Like-
following you. It seems like you're going somewhere with it.
I don't know where I'm going.
Well, then what you bring it up for?
Because I had something in my head. That's how it works.
Well, suffice it to
Right.
say that Bigfoot's not us.
No.
But they're not. I mean, they're something. I mean, they're not necessarily a monkey.
And we're trying to debunk this, like in the whole community. We've all had our own experiences, and we're still trying to tell people that this isn't real. When there are so many people, we need to get an exact number on that. I mean, have had encounters and experiences with this.
It's I mean, it's in the millions, but I don't think it's like the tens of millions. Maybe it is. If there's 400 million people now in the United States, close to it. Let's say 4 million people have seen or heard something in the woods that they can attribute to one of these cryptids. I mean, and I was saying the other night, like at one point in time, the flamingo was a cryptid, and the koala, and yeah, think about it. Like it's in a distinct region that's not really populated. At one point in time, it wasn't really populated. So it was a pink bird that looks like it's on stilts. Right. The hippopotamus, the gorilla, the silverback gorilla. They didn't believe that there was a silverback gorilla until like 1905 or something like that.
It's so crazy how our knowledge of everything has came so far in the past 100 years.
Yeah.
Of just everything. In
the past 100 years, we've gained more knowledge than we did the past 1,000. And that's technology has leapt further than in the past 100 years than it has the past like 500.
I think we're getting too smart for our own good.
Well, yeah, it's going to be like Tower of Babel. God's going to have to come slap us down.
We're getting a little too big for our britches.
Thank y'all very much. That's my kid. See, look, you're getting some compliments, kid. Wow. See, I when she was young, I'll tell you straight up. I'll tell you a little story. When she was young, she got in trouble. I don't remember for what, but I had a 55-inch TV in her room. Like she had one of those Wii's and all that good stuff. And she got in trouble once, and all that stuff was gone and never came back. And all she could have was books. And I remember I'll never forget one night I went in her room, and the flashlight was on under the covers. I'm gonna make me cry. The flashlight was on under the covers, and she had fell asleep reading a book, and she was like 6. I was like, well, shoot. But I mean, ever since then, she's been soaking up knowledge like her old man.
Man, how hard was that to take a kid's book away?
Very hard, and I think I gave it back shortly after. Because I can't. I mean, like hell's bells, you know. Like I took a TV away. Yeah. Thank you very much, Miss Marlene. She is awesome. I think so too.
I try.
And she's from Arkansas. What part of Arkansas you hail from, Marlene? My mom's from Rogers. And Grande Gringo. Mm-hmm. He says a bunch. Our entire system is like a balance beam. If you remove something from one spot, something else has to pick up the slack, or it all goes spinning out of control. You're right, bro. And it's crazy that you say that, because in these active areas, they introduce, like, for instance, in southeastern Oklahoma, they reintroduced the elk. Now, I found that very, very strange, because there's not a lot of top tier predators in southern Oklahoma at all. You get some black bears pass through, a handful of mountain cats, but there's not a bunch of top tier predators to be hunting down elk. And elk is a big animal.
And if that starts to populate, then we're all screwed, because they'll start acting like they run the place.
Yeah, bull elk
coming into town and stuff.
Yeah, stomping people out, running them over. So this is just my theory. I owe it to Mark Zasky because he actually did a study on it down there in Florida. But they're introducing these large predation characters, these large predation creatures, because there's a top tier predator that's not being documented that's hunting them down, killing them off. But now, in a lot of these different areas, that's starting to grind to a halt after a population boom. So that means that there's a different food source, which tells me that they're moving closer into town and they're getting more scraps and stuff from people's trash cans and everything. Because when you have to introduce top tier predation creatures like the elk, but then all of a sudden the feeding of these predation creatures start slowing down, then they're getting their food. They're not stopping eating or going on diets. They're getting their food source from somewhere else. So when you look at it and you really look at the amount of encounters that are coming in that are in suburbs and rural areas, how they're really becoming hot and heavy, it lets you know that these things are going and taking people's chickens and stuff in the country and things of that nature. They're going through people's trash cans and rummaging more than they're hunting, I believe.
Which will cause overpopulation of whatever they usually feed on.
And exactly.
Depending on what that is, if that gets too out of hand, then there will be a big problem.
Well, like the hog population, like they're coming in helicopters in North Texas, killing hogs. Remember at Old Girls, where that farm was, or that all that land where we went for the 4th of July and all that out in St. Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah, like they were coming in helicopters killing hogs and stuff.
Oh.
So,
how recent was that?
I mean, I was back when we were down there. So
okay.
2016,
17,
yeah, 17, somewhere around in there.
Jeez.
So if the state is coming in helicopters on people's private land to help them with the problem of overpopulation of hogs, which hogs are like cockroaches everywhere in North Texas, Southern Oklahoma, all over Texas, really. Arkansas, Louisiana, Georgia, I think, has a little bit of a problem with hogs. Wild hogs are a nuisance.
I remember one time I was riding down Carter, and I'd seen this hog in the ditch, and it was dead. And I come back a couple hours later, and it's just swelled up. Like that hog looked like it was gonna bust.
Right across from Brown Springs on the Texas side, it was me. It was just me and Mr. Biscardi's crew. We found a dead hog with its back leg looked like Gumby, looked like something snatched up by its back leg and broke it in multiple different places and hit it up against the tree. And it was like 200-something pounds. And its back was like in a V. Its back got broke up against that tree, and they just chunked it there and left it.
I feel like I've seen it. What was it that I'd seen? I remember seeing something dead out there with you. Was it a goat or something? No,
I don't know. I seen a dead goat out there once. It was on that trail, and there's no reason a goat should be out there.
Off to the side. I remember. I don't know.
Maybe it was a goat. Maybe it was a goat.
All I know is it looked like its side was open
because it was on the trail.
Stuff hanging out. Ugh.
Yeah, because I mean,
entrails and stuff.
I don't know when that was, but I remember I talked to leaving that peanut butter one time, and it was shortly after that goat was there. I think they went on somebody's land and took a goat and tried to give it to me.
Here you go.
Yeah, pretty much saying thanks, but no, that we don't want that bullshit that you're trying to give us. But you can have a goat. You can have some real meat. Yeah. I'll smash your toe. My bad.
No, it's okay. You just hit my ankle.
So, what else? What else did we see out there? You went out there with me a lot.
I remember we went back. We were about 3 or 4 miles back, and we came across this clearing. And we were in that clearing, and across the way, it was a windy day, and the trees were moving back and forth.
Yeah.
Remember when the wind would stop for a bit?
Yeah, and that one tree kept moving?
Kept moving back and forth.
Yeah, that was the one that was retarded. He was kind of a dummy.
And then when the wind
I'm just the wind. Nothing to see here. I'm just the wind. Yeah, I remember. I forgot about that until you said it. Now I think about it, that was kind of spooky. I was taking you into some stuff. I feel like a bad parent.
Nah.
I was taking you in the middle of some stuff. Because that thing was sitting up there pulling that tree back and forth when the wind stopped.
Well, we're still here, ain't we? So
yeah. By the grace of before the grace of God, there go I. But there was a when Biscardi, see, when old man Biscardi came down, folks, she was here, and Biscardi, everybody knows Biscardi. I should play him that thing that we just watched. Like, for anybody who doesn't know, Tom Biscardi, out of everybody you like to listen to, he's been the only field researcher that's been on Fox Business News. He had a publicly traded company whose goal was to get a live or dead Bigfoot. He had $1 million bounty out at one point in time. I call him old man Biscardi with all love in the world. Everybody says, oh, he's a faker, he's this, he's that. No, the man's straight up. He's old school. I remember when he came down, he parked his that trailer with his his trailer had a big picture of his face on it. All right, he comes down to Gainesville, Texas, when I was living down there when I started my research, and he has this big gaudy trailer with his face and all of his crew members' faces on it. And he's an old school Italian gentleman. You know what I mean? Like, I have 10 tons of respect for him. And he was like, hey, can we park this at your house? We don't want it to get broken into. We don't know nothing about Gainesville. And I'm like, yeah, sure, Mr. Biscardi. So he parks his thing. He's got like original casts that are copies from what's in the Smithsonian. And I don't know. But anyways, he came down here. He came down to Gainesville when I first started. It was, what, 2 years into it? I think it was my second or third. Yeah, second year, I feel like. And he leaves his thing outside. All the neighborhood kids are coming up to it, looking at it. And because they actually were on the Texas side. He introduced me to the Texas side, which I talked about the other night. That was the hunting ground. That's where all the males and stuff were. We were where the kids and the children were. We're in the daycare center, basically.
I remember a couple hundred yards in there. If you go off to the left, there was like this big old daycare looking area.
Like if you're going into the area?
Into it, and then off to the left. Back
so
there.
The east. Like if we're going east. Yeah, they're just like right there, right off the trail, too.
There was like a couple of beds, and it looked like a hammock or a swing or something.
The swing, the porch swing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the porch swing.
It was like these big old limbs in between these two sturdy trees, and it looked like you could get up there and swing back and forth on it. And there was like...
It did look straight up like a porch swing.
Right. And then there was like this big old bed of sticks and ponchos and
like leaves that were like... And the rest of the area was pretty much clean. It wasn't like there was a floodplain and waters washed this stuff up there. It was like it was placed there for that specific purpose. That was pretty cool. That is the first couple of years. And that just goes to show nobody came into that area.
Yeah.
Because that's right off that trail.
I remember, what grade was I in? I think I was in like 4th or 5th. And
no, I was more. Now you were in middle school then, weren't you?
I was only part of 6th grade because remember I got bit by the dog and I was out for like 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, that's right.
I think it was like 3rd or 4th grade.
No, it was
3rd or 4th grade, my school had taken us out back there. Not
past to that place that's out there by Brown.
Yes, it's out past there. And I remember passing through. I was like, hey, me and my dad, we go look for Bigfoot back there. And this girl, she's like, that's Brown Springs. That's like an old Indian graveyard or something. And we saw like, did we see headstones? Like slabs.
That was a cemetery, though. Where we went was on the other side of the road, on the south of the road, where the river is.
But like on that road, okay, so you go back there and there's those couple of...
Everybody attributes Brown Springs to being that cemetery.
It's right before, the cemetery is right before Brown Springs.
Yeah, it's right before. Brown Springs is the road. Like when people say Brown Springs, like it's the road, it's the cemetery, it's wherever you want it to be, but it's Brown Springs Road. Where we went was on the river. And I mean, like everybody, and I kept it that way because I didn't want people going down there messing around. You know what I mean? They go to that cemetery, and that's good for them. There's other stuff taking place in that cemetery, though. What she's talking about, though, folks, is I think you're right. You was the 4th grade.
I think so.
She was in the 4th grade, and there's they say there's a construction company back there, but it's also, what was it?
I don't remember exactly what it was. I know it was like this place that these people had set up for kids to come back there and
so it can all look like it's on the up and up.
Pretty much.
That's what I thought it was.
There was like this marsh spot, there was like this land bridge, and on the other side of it, the opposite side of what we were on, you could see it was like this icky, murky water because of Windstar. They had told us like all of Windstar's dumpings and stuff.
Windstar was 2 miles down the road.
Exactly.
Well, that's a huge place, though. I bet it is their dumping.
Um,
Windstar, for all who don't know, is in southern Oklahoma, and it is the largest indoor casino in the entirety of planet Earth. It's the largest casino under heaven, and it sits right on the border of Texas and Oklahoma. You come into Texas, you're going to see on the west part of the road an adult store, and as you cross the bridge, cross the Red River, on the right-hand side of the road, you're going to see the largest casino on planet Earth. And down the road from that is what they took the kids on a tour to. They went to Gainesville. What was it?
It was
General Lee or whatever.
Robert E. Lee. Yeah, it was.
So that was middle school. That was Robert E. Lee Middle School. So you're in like 6th grade.
No, it was the year before. It was the year
okay.
before. It was for our gifted and talented trip, and they had taken us all down there in like groups, and you would go back and you'd hike and stuff.
Yeah, that was your advanced classes and stuff, right?
I don't remember much.
All I know, folks, is I was wanting to go on that trip because I'd spent the past couple of years on just the other side of the road, and there's Bigfoot. And literally, this is the other side of the road where she went. I was like, what?
Yeah, like a couple, like probably not even a mile.
Barely a mile, if that.
Yeah.
We're giving away the location.
Uh-oh.
If somebody was smart, they could actually piece it together exactly where we went.
Keep it on the DL.
It'll be all right. Nobody's going in there. If they do, they ain't staying long. What do you? No, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What do you think? Why do you think that? Because people have been chased out of there. Why do you think they let us come in there?
They liked us.
I think they liked us too.
They didn't. We didn't. We probably.
Because didn't the little ones show themselves to y'all? And stuff?
They look like little.
Were you ever scared?
The first or second time. Like the first couple of times we'd went in there, I just got this feeling, like this heavy, I don't really want to be back here, but my dad's going, so I'm okay. Let's go ahead.
Honestly, I had that feeling too, but I want to look tough. There'd be sometimes I go by myself and I'd leave. I'd come back home.
Really?
Yeah, for real.
Because didn't you say there are people that have tried like bringing guns and stuff out there? You can't do that because they feel that they're threatened.
Yeah.
Because you're bringing a gun in there, they think you're going to do something, so you're the threat, not them.
But I didn't never take no gun.
Exactly. And we were just going in there looking around. We weren't going to mess with them or get up in their business. Well, we were. We were all up in their business.
We really were all up in their business.
They tolerated us.
But I think after a while they start liking us.
Looking forward to it.
Because think about it, those little ones were like throwing rocks because we were going to leave.
Yeah. And
they were whistling that same song, and then the little ones that one got pissed because I stopped whistling that song. He was mad about it.
I wish we still had all the film. I know.
Look
through the pictures.
It's all right. Because this weekend.
What do you mean this weekend?
This weekend, big homie DW is, and this is an announcement for everybody. Dark Waters, the grand poobah of the Dark Waters Network, is sending me another camera. So you folks are going to be getting footage from Brown Springs at least this weekend. You can go with me. Why you got to whisper? We're talking about you going down.
Take me with you. I don't know. I have to work this weekend.
Well, that is my job. So, I'll definitely be going down there. Yeah, lucky me.
I get to deal with truckers.
Well, I may have to deal with them too. I ain't got to make sandwiches. Make one for myself. But folks, I'll tell you what. Like, straight up, if you're lucky enough to be in the type of position I was and to have an area where you basically had it all to yourself, and you ingratiate yourself to these things, which you can. Now, we didn't ever sit down and have tea parties with them. You hear some people say, "Oh, well, they're our forest friends." No. That's
friends are the rabbits and deer.
Yeah, then they ain't even my forest friend. Like, they tolerated us to the point where, like, I think that we were entertainment for them, just like they're entertainment for us.
Like, oh, look at these little
I can't
Careless
believe
feelings.
I can't stop thinking about it. You did wander off when we were leaving. You wandered down that other trail,
I
like,
used to hate when I
and
did
you
that.
went through the whole nest of them like a fool. But that's, I mean, I don't know. That's pretty cool though. That like we went down there for some years.
Yeah, you need to go back.
We're going back this weekend.
Says they are highly empathetic, in my opinion. In other words, they can see your soul, and if you're a good soul, you might just get a hall pass.
Grande Gringo, I'm going to tell you something that a lot of people don't know. I've told people on the back end, off air. When I first started, the first 2.5 years, like I would get these Native American council members from all over the South, all these Southern tribes, and they would ask me, like, what tribe am I from? Like, do I know my ancestry and this, that, and the other thing? Because they thought I was a Native American because they would let me get so close to them. And I mean, I don't know from that kind of stuff, but I don't. I mean, as far as I know, because I've been to family reunions where one of the cousins on both sides of my family did an extensive like genealogy,
like 23andMe or something like that.
No, this was way back in the day before
okay.
23andMe. This was I think you had to do it the old school way. But as far as I know, on both sides of my family, I'm 100% American Negro. So for real, like, I mean, I don't have any Indian in me. But they would think that because they thought that like they were the only ones who could ingratiate themselves or get as close. But I think you're right. I think they're empathetic, and if they find an empathetic person who, I'll tell you what, it's one lady. She was an old school traditionalist. I forget what tribe, but she said that they could read your heart, and I think that's true. I think that there's people. Think about it, folks. There's folks who spent hundreds of thousands of dollars for dozens of years trying to go into these areas just to see one, not even capture them on film, and they never did. The saddest thing I've ever heard is Kirk Stokes told me when he was, Kirk Stokes is he's a cool cat. He told me when he first started, there was this guy who had been doing it for decades, and he left his wife, his children, and bought an RV and actually like pretty much lived at one of these areas and died in that RV, never seeing nothing. You know how sad that is?
Remember that one guy that was in his like camper?
Yeah, that dude, he lived down there. But something was the matter with him though.
We saw him like once or twice and we came back.
I saw him a whole lot more than that.
Really?
Yeah, because I went down there almost every day. There was something the matter with that dude though, because I remember chopping it up with him one time, and like he's one of those ones that God takes care of. You know what I'm saying? Like there was something the matter with him, and I think that's why they left him alone, because he had like this little toilet set up off in the woods, and I couldn't imagine going in there trying to sit down, take care of business in the middle of the night with these things wandering around and pushing down trees and stuff. But you know, Tex has consistently been going in there and like leading expeditions and stuff. You remember him?
Who?
Tex, the big dude?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like still?
Yeah, he's still going in there. Allegedly. I mean, I don't know. I've not seen anything. I've not seen anything. I guess.
To go back.
Yeah, we're definitely. I'm going back this weekend. I don't know what you got going.
I gotta work. I lost hours.
I'll go to work then. And I'll go down there to Brown Springs and see my forest friends. So, what are you gonna do with your new channel?
I don't know.
Don't know. That's not the answer I was looking for.
I know. I'm gonna look around and find some stories of my own. In the creepypastas. I don't know where I
can do
start.
whatever you can do whatever you want. Well, I mean,
don't you already have some stuff?
Your Uncle DW and myself are going to help you out. You know, get a good start and get a leg up. I think you'll do phenomenally well.
Do you have something we can give them a little sneak peek? Yeah.
No.
Really? That's not how this works?
No, we ain't giving nobody no sneak peek. I gotta dig through a bunch of stuff. But we found you some interesting things to talk about.
I'm excited.
And you represent the youth portion of the Dark Waters network and family. So
Me keep
that's
in
all
touch
you.
with the youngins.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
gotta. Yeah, I mean, y'all know what's in vogue, and I'm just an angry old man who's more at home in the woods with Bigfoot than I am, you know.
I don't think I'm the best candidate. I'm an old soul myself,
Yeah, well,
but I'm all you got.
too bad. No, I mean we can.
No,
That's all right. I mean, like we can go ahead and put out the call to action. So violent. What are you pushing me for?
I'll show
A
you
jar of
more.
pickles.
Where do you see a jar of pickles?
Right there. They know you, D, and know you're no threat. See, I believe that. I believe that too, jar of pickles. That and I think they know that if they get out of line, I'll smoke their game. I'll whoop one of them things up one side, down the other. No, I'm just kidding. I was always afraid. Yeah, no. I mean, one day it may happen. You know, they're gonna know that they got rid of Dee Doss, though.
Here lies Dee Doss.
Where you see that at? Oh, shut up.
Oh crap!
That's what you get. But that's what the Vikings would call a glorious death. I'd fight one of them to the death with like a knife or something, or that knife and that badass tomahawk I have.
Where's that at? I'd like to see that.
I don't know, somewhere.
Somewhere.
You've seen it?
I know.
It's one of those old school tomahawks. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's been the show. I'm glad that you guys stopped in. I know a lot of you have been busy. It's getting towards the holiday season. But I just want to reintroduce my daughter, Scrappy-Doo, and welcome her officially to the Dark Waters Network and family. Her channel will be up at the first of the year, at the very latest. And I'll be posting links all over the place. You guys will see that. You can join me tonight. It's 8 o'clock. We're going to do another one. We'll jump back on here about 10, 11 o'clock. And yeah. You got anything to say to the folks?
Yeah.
That's a radio no-no. That's a radio no-no.
I'm trying. It was good to be on here. It's the first time I've actually stayed around and talked. Got to get used to it.
Yeah, it's easy.
Is it?
It's fun.
Really?
It is. It really is fun.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Doss family. We sincerely love you guys. Y'all are great. And thank you for all the contributors to the channel. If you would like to contribute, you can do so by following the links in the description of this show. And yeah, we'll see you later on tonight.
Have a good night, y'all.
Bye-bye.